Ability Center's 4x4 stretch.
Hi everyone, welcome to your 4x4 stretch. My name is Megan and with me today in seated position is Marissa. We're gonna do a little bit of a focus on that lower body and core to stretch out and get you ready for your day. So we have 4 lower body and 4 core stretches to get you through. Let's get started. So hamstring is gonna be the first one. Feet are gonna be hip width apart, up nice and tall. I'm going to extend my left foot forward, heel is on the floor, toes up to the ceiling. We're just gonna follow along right in her seated. We're both up tall. We're gonna hinge forward through our hips, feeling the stretch going through the back of our leg. Hands are gonna go on our non-stretching legs. So they're gonna go on that right side, and we're just gonna hold. Breathing through this. Even though we are just stretching, we still wanna make sure our core is nice and strong. So belly button to our spine. Inhale through our nose. Exhale through our mouth. Good. At any point, you can grab onto a support, whether that's a countertop, a chair for that standing position. Good. Let's gently release and let's go over to that right side. So right foot forward, hinging forward, hands on your non-stretching leg. Core is still nice and strong. That leg is nice and straight on the right side. Good work. In that seated position, make sure your bum is towards the edge of the seat. If you're a little bit too far back, the chair actually will cut right into that leg, not allowing you to fully stretch that hamstring. Good. Let's gently release. Awesome. We're gonna go to a quad stretch first. I'm gonna go to my left side first, grabbing onto the top of my foot. Knees are gonna go side by side. If you have a little bit of a trouble balancing, you can press onto your belly button. It'll help. Don't know the science behind that, but you know what? Every time it works. So I just keep doing it. Marissa in her seated has her left foot under the chair, leaning back, aiming her knee down towards the floor. Open that chest up and just breathe. Nice. If you want to, you can grab onto your heel, maybe inside of the top of your foot. If you have pants on, you can grab onto the pant leg. Lots of options here. Good, and gently release. All right, let's go over to the right side. Up nice and tall, you can grab onto the top of that foot, the heel or your pant leg, and then in that seated position, foot's underneath, knee driving down to the floor. And again, if you have a little bit of trouble balancing, press on that belly button, up nice and tall. Make sure we're breathing through it. We don't want anything to be painful through these stretches, just slight little discomfort. If anything is painful, just alleviate a little bit and don't pull as much maybe on that leg. Good, gently release. All right, we're gonna go into adductors, so the muscles on the insides of our legs. So our legs are gonna be nice and wide. I'm gonna go over to my right side, but Marissa's gonna work on her left side because we're both working on the same leg. So I'm going to bend my right knee, straighten my left leg, feeling the stretch going to the inside of my thigh. Marissa's gonna keep both of her knees straight, bent, and she's gonna open her left foot out to the side and gently, not too hard, pushing on the inside of her knee. Again, we don't want anything to be painful, just like little discomfort to allow those muscles to stretch out. Again, if you need to hold on to something for balance, you can. If you want to stay a little bit higher in that standing position, you can as well. And just breathing through this, core is still nice and strong. Nice, let's go over to the other side. So I'm gonna switch over, bending my left, straightening my right. Now Marissa has her right leg out to the side and stretching the inner thighs. Nice. This is probably one of my favorite stretches. So underrated, but it feels so good. And just breathing through these. Good, and let's gently release. Bring those feet back to hip width apart. So this one we're gonna follow suit together. So we're gonna take our left ankle, place it on top of our right knee, creating like a figure 4. And then I'm going to go into a squat position, placing my hands in front of my chest, having a focal point on the floor, because that makes it not moving, and that means I'm gonna stay nice and stable. Marissa in her seated can actually hinge a little bit through her hips if she wants to. She can press gently on her inner knee if she wants to. Lots of options here. You can hold onto a countertop. We wanna make sure that left toe is pointing towards your knee. Nice. Just breathe. Awesome, let's gently release and go over to the other side. Right ankle on the left knee, up nice and tall, and then I'm gonna go into that squat position. So this side is a little bit tighter for me, but this is good. Yeah, a little bit tighter. That's okay. You're gonna have one side that's a little bit tighter than the other. That just shows your dominant side. Good. So I use my right side a lot, and maybe the other side's just gonna be a little bit tighter. That's all right. Good balancing act on this one. Good, and gently release. Shake it all out. I'm gonna head down to the mat onto all fours, placing my shoulders over top of my wrists. I'm gonna push my bum back towards my heels, head dropping down towards the mat, reaching my arms as far forward, going into child's pose. Marissa can place her hands on top of her thighs and then hinge forward through her hips. She can bend her elbows. She's gonna aim to bring her chest on top of her thighs. Now, she doesn't have to go all the way. She can go halfway if she wants to. And we're just gonna breathe. So aiming to have your bum towards your heels on the mat position. Head coming down towards the floor. Just do what you can. Good work. Okay, and then gently release. I'm going to go back into shoulders over my wrists, but then now I'm going to drop my hips down to the mat, and I'm going to look up, open that chest up. Marissa's going to reach her hands up to the ceiling, or she can have a little bit of a halfway, and she's going to arch back just a little bit, not too much on this one. We're just going to stretch out that core. Nice. And if you want to, for less range of motion in that seated position, you can bend the elbows a little bit. Nice work. All right, good. I'm gonna go back onto all fours, shoulders over those wrists, hips over those knees, and I'm gonna dip those hips down, looking forward, and then raise the back. So I'm gonna alternate between cat and cow. So Marissa and her seated, as she rounds forward, her hands are gonna go towards her knees, rounding her back, chin to her chest, and then as she opens up, those hands are gonna come back towards her hips, opening that chest up. Awesome, we're gonna alternate between those two. So rounding and going forward. You can take this how you need to, whether you go a little bit slower or just a little bit faster, but we don't want to go too fast on this one. Just alternating between cat and cow. Nice. Doing a great job. Let's do one more of each. Excellent. If you are in the mat position, curl your toes on the floor, walk your hands towards your knees, push yourself into your feet, and then come back up into standing. All right, we've got one more good stretch for you. So we're gonna take our left hand up to the ceiling, reach it over towards the right, stretching out our rib cage, just like we did in our warm up. Oh, it feels so great. You can have your hand a little bit more in front of your face if you want to, or you can have your hand just at your side, reaching down the right leg. Lots of options here. Okay, gently release. Let's go over to the other side. Still breathing. Nice work. And gently release. All right, let's take 2 big breaths in. Inhale, hands up. And exhale, back down one more time. Inhale, hands up. And exhale, back down. Round of applause, yay! You're all done your 4x4. Thank you so much for joining Marissa and I. We had a blast. I hope you had a blast. And I hope you really enjoyed this 4x4. Till next time.
Ability Center's 4x4 stretch.